My name is Amelia Ross, and I'm a widow. My husband died 3 years ago in a car accident. He left me with 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and a girl, and a life insurance policy that was supposed to give us security. Instead, I used $120,000 of it to pay for my stepsister's wedding. And at the gate of that wedding, a security guard showed me printed photos of my children, slashed with red marker, labeled, "Do not admit security risks." That's when I shut the whole thing down. Let me back up. My stepsister Olivia has always been the golden child. When my dad remarried after my mom died, his new wife brought Olivia into our lives, and from that moment on, I became invisible. Olivia got the attention, the praise, the money. I got the leftovers, but I didn't care. I moved on. I built my own life. I met Daniel, got married, had 3 kids. We were happy. Then Daniel died, and suddenly my step-family reappeared. "We're so sorry for your loss," my stepmother said at the funeral, her hand on my shoulder. "We're here for you." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that grief could bring us together. So when Olivia got engaged 6 months later, I didn't say no when they asked for help. Olivia's fiancé was Nathan Sterling, heir to a commercial real estate empire. His father, Richard Sterling, was a billionaire. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a merger, and Olivia wanted it to be perfect. "I'm thinking Chateau Bellevue," she said one afternoon, scrolling through her phone. "It's a vineyard estate. Gorgeous. Exclusive." "That sounds expensive," I said carefully. She looked up, eyes wide. "Oh, Amelia, I wasn't asking you to pay. I know you're still recovering." But 2 weeks later, my stepmother showed up at my house. "Amelia, sweetheart," she said, sitting across from me in my living room. "I need to talk to you about the wedding." I already knew where this was going. "Olivia's in a difficult spot," she continued. "The Sterlings expect a certain standard, and frankly, we don't have the liquid cash right now. Your father's investments are tied up." "How much does she need?" She hesitated. $120,000. I laughed. I actually laughed. "You're joking." "I'm not. Amelia, this is Olivia's one chance. If this wedding doesn't happen, Nathan's family will think we're less than. She could lose him. And what do I get?" "Family," she said simply. "You get to be part of this family again." I should have said no. I should have thrown her out. But I looked at my kids, playing in the next room, laughing, and I thought about what Daniel would have wanted. He always believed in family, in second chances. So I said yes. The months leading up to the wedding were a blur. Olivia barely acknowledged me. No thank you, no updates, just demands. "We need another $5,000 for the floral arch. The photographer wants a deposit. Can you cover the rehearsal dinner?" Every time I said yes, because I wanted to believe this would change things, that maybe, after this, Olivia would see me as more than an obligation. Finally, the day came. Chateau Bellevue was stunning. Rolling vineyards, ivory drapes, champagne towers, live string quartet, everything Olivia had dreamed of. I dressed my kids carefully that morning. My sons, James and Leo, wore little suits. My daughter, Sophie, wore a pale pink dress with a bow in her hair. They looked perfect. "Are we going to a party, Mama?" Sophie asked. "Yes, baby. Aunt Olivia's wedding." "Will there be cake?" I smiled. "Definitely." We arrived at the estate just before 2 p.m. The ceremony was set for 3. The driveway was lined with luxury cars, Bentleys, Teslas, a Rolls-Royce. I pulled up to the gate. A security guard stepped forward. "Name?" "Amelia Ross. I'm the bride's sister." He checked his tablet. Then he looked up at me. His face changed. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle." "Excuse me?" "Please step out." My heart started pounding. I got out slowly. "Is there a problem?" He didn't answer. Instead, he walked to the back door and looked inside, at my kids. Then he pulled out a sheet of paper, and my blood went cold. It was a printout, 3 photos, one of each of my children. Their faces were circled in red marker, slashed, crossed out. Underneath, in bold letters, "Do not admit. Security risks." I stared at it. My hands started shaking. What? What is this? Orders from the bride, the guard said, his voice apologetic. Ms. Olivia Sterling requested that these individuals not be allowed on the property. These individuals? I repeated. They're children. I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm just following orders. I looked past him, toward the estate. I could see guests arriving, Olivia's bridesmaids in lavender dresses, the photographer setting up, and somewhere in there, Olivia. The woman I paid $120,000 for, the woman I called family. She had labeled my children as security risks. Ma'am, the guard said gently, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I didn't move. I couldn't. Sophie's voice came from the back seat. Mama, why aren't we going in? I closed my eyes, took a breath. Then I pulled out my phone. I didn't call Olivia. I didn't call my stepmother. I called the venue manager. This is Amelia Ross, I said, my voice calm. I'm the client who paid for the Sterling wedding today. Yes, Ms. Ross, is everything all right? No, I've just been denied entry to the event I funded. I'm invoking Clause 9 of our contract. There was a pause. I'm sorry, Clause 9? The clause that states if the paying client is denied access to the event without cause, the contract is void, and all services are to be immediately suspended. Another pause. Longer this time. Ms. Ross, are you sure you want to do this? I looked at the guard, at the photos of my children, marked like criminals. I'm sure. Understood. We'll begin shutdown procedures immediately. I hung up. The guard stared at me. Ma'am, what did you just do? I got back in my car. I just canceled the wedding. I drove away. I made it about 10 minutes down the road before my phone started ringing. First call, my stepmother. I declined. Second call, Olivia. Declined. Third, fourth, fifth. Unknown numbers. Bridesmaids. Probably Nathan. I turned off my phone. I drove my kids to a park. We got ice cream. They ran around on the playground, laughing, completely unaware of what had just happened. Sophie climbed into my lap. Mama, why didn't we go to the party? I kissed her forehead. Because this is better. And it was. That night, I finally turned my phone back on. 63 missed calls, 42 text messages, 7 voicemails. The texts ranged from furious to desperate. Stepmother. How could you do this to your sister? Olivia. You're a jealous, bitter witch. You ruined my life. Unknown number, probably a bridesmaid. You're disgusting. Those kids aren't even yours to weaponize. I deleted them all. Then I saw the notification. Olivia Sterling is live. I clicked it. Olivia was on Instagram, sitting in what looked like a hotel room, eyes red, makeup smeared. Nathan sat beside her, silent. I just want everyone to know, she said, voice trembling, what my sister did to me today. My stomach dropped. She sabotaged my wedding. She paid for it, yes, but then she canceled it 30 minutes before the ceremony. Why? Because she's jealous, because she's miserable, because she can't stand to see me happy. Comments flooded in. OMG, that's so toxic. She's clearly unstable. Widow doesn't mean you get to ruin other people's lives. I felt sick. Olivia kept talking. She used her dead husband's money to control me, and when I didn't do exactly what she wanted, she pulled the plug. She humiliated me in front of 200 people. She destroyed the happiest day of my life. Nathan finally spoke. We're considering legal action. The live ended. I sat there staring at my phone. My hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. For a moment, just a moment, I thought, maybe I should apologize. Maybe I overreacted. Then I heard Sophie laughing in the next room, and I remembered the photos, the red slashes, the words, security risks. No, I didn't overreact. I protected my children. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. Ms. Ross? The voice was deep, calm, authoritative. Yes? This is Richard Sterling, Nathan's father. I froze. I'm calling because I just learned what happened at my son's wedding. Or rather, what didn't happen. Mr. Sterling, Let me finish. His tone wasn't angry. It was measured. I spoke with the venue manager, I reviewed the security logs, and I saw the photos. Silence. Ms. Ross, is it true that your children, aged 8, 6, and 4, were labeled as security risks and banned from an event you paid for? Yes. He exhaled. Then you did the right thing. I blinked. What? I have 3 grandchildren, he said. If someone ever treated them the way Olivia treated yours, I would burn their world down. You showed restraint. I didn't know what to say. I'm sending a security detail to your home, he continued, effective immediately. I don't trust Olivia or her mother not to retaliate. Consider it a courtesy. Mr. Sterling, it's not a request. And Ms. Ross? I'm also advising my son to annul this marriage. If he refuses, I will cut him off entirely. I will not allow my family name to be associated with someone who dehumanizes children. Tears stung my eyes. Thank you. No, thank you, for having the spine to stand up. Most people don't. He hung up. 2 days later, the venue manager called me. Ms. Ross, we have a situation. What kind of situation? Your stepmother and Olivia just tried to collect the $120,000 refund. My blood went cold. What? They came in with a notarized letter claiming you authorized the transfer to Olivia's account, but the signature didn't match our records. I wanted to confirm before processing. Do not process that, I said immediately. That's fraud. I thought so. I've already contacted our legal team. They're filing a report. Good. And make sure that refund goes to me. I'm the client. I'm the one who paid. Understood. I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. I need you to send a cease and desist to Olivia, her mother, and my father, and I need you to file a restraining order. On what grounds? Attempted fraud, harassment, and I have a feeling it's about to get worse. I was right. That night, they showed up at my house, all 3 of them, Olivia, my stepmother, and my father. I heard the shouting before I saw them. Amelia, open this door. I looked out the window. They were on my porch. Olivia in sweatpants and a hoodie, my stepmother in a blazer, my father looking uncomfortable but complicit. I didn't open the door. Instead, I cracked the window. Leave, now. You owe us that money, Olivia screamed. You ruined my wedding. The least you can do is give me the refund. I don't owe you anything. You're a selfish, vindictive... You banned my children from a wedding I paid for, I said, my voice like ice. You labeled them as security risks. You humiliated them. And now you want money? My stepmother stepped forward. Amelia, you're being unreasonable. Those children are loud, disruptive. Olivia was just trying to protect the event. They're 4, 6, and 8 years old. They're your responsibility, not ours. I stared at her. You're right. They are my responsibility. And I'm done letting you treat them, and me, like we're disposable. Amelia, my father started. No, Dad. You stood by and let this happen. You let her label my kids as threats. You don't get to play peacemaker now. Olivia's face twisted. You know what? Fine. Keep the money. But everyone knows what you did. You're going to be alone for the rest of your life. No one will ever forgive you. I smiled, calm. Cold. I don't need forgiveness. I need distance. That's when Olivia lost it. Olivia picked up a rock from my garden. Olivia, don't, my father said. She threw it. The front window shattered. Glass exploded inward. I heard Sophie scream from upstairs. That's when the security team Richard Sterling sent stepped out of the black SUV parked across the street. 2 men in suits moved fast. One positioned himself between me and Olivia. The other pulled out his phone. Ma'am, step back, the guard said firmly. Olivia froze. Who the hell are you? Private security. And you just committed vandalism and assault in front of witnesses. I suggest you leave before the police arrive. The police? My stepmother laughed nervously. This is a family matter. It's a criminal matter now. Sirens echoed in the distance. My father grabbed Olivia's arm. We need to go, now. But Olivia wouldn't move. She stared at me, chest heaving. You think you've won? You think ruining my wedding makes you the hero? I didn't ruin your wedding, I said quietly. I stopped you from erasing my children. They're kids. They don't matter. They matter more than you ever will. The police pulled up. Olivia was arrested for vandalism and attempted assault. My stepmother and father weren't charged, but they were escorted off my property and warned not to return. I filed the restraining order the next morning. 3 days later, I received an email from Nathan Sterling's lawyer. Subject: annulment notice. Dear Ms. Ross, this is to inform you that Mr. Nathan Sterling has filed for annulment of his marriage to Ms. Olivia Carter, effective immediately. Grounds: fraud and misrepresentation of character. Mr. Sterling wishes to convey his apologies for the distress caused by this situation. He was unaware of Ms. Carter's actions regarding your children. Additionally, Mr. Richard Sterling has requested that we forward his personal regards and reiterate his admiration for your courage. Sincerely, Sterling Family Legal Team. I read it twice. Then I closed my laptop and exhaled. It was over. A week later, $120,000 was deposited back into my account. Every penny. I stared at the number on my screen and felt nothing. No relief, no victory, just exhaustion. That money was supposed to buy me back into a family. Instead, it bought me clarity. I transferred half of it into a college fund for my kids. The other half I kept for emergencies. Then I blocked every number, every email, every social media account connected to Olivia, my stepmother, and my father. I deleted Instagram, Facebook, all of it. I didn't need their validation. I didn't need their forgiveness. I needed peace. The first week after everything ended was quiet. Too quiet. I kept waiting for something else to happen. Another call, another confrontation, another surprise. But nothing came. Olivia's social media went dark. My stepmother stopped trying to contact me. My father sent one email. Amelia, I'm sorry. I should have protected you. I failed. I didn't respond. Some apologies come too late. One evening, I was sitting on the couch with my kids. Sophie was curled up next to me, half asleep. James and Leo were building a Lego tower on the floor. Mama? Sophie mumbled. Yeah, baby? Are we going to any more weddings? I smiled. Not for a while. Good. I like it here better. I kissed the top of her head. Me too. James looked up. Mom, can we have pizza for dinner? Again? Please? Leo joined in. Please, please, please. I laughed. Fine, but you're helping me clean up after. They cheered, and in that moment, surrounded by Lego pieces, pizza negotiations, and my kids' laughter, I realized something. I won. Not because I got my money back, not because Olivia's marriage fell apart, not because I proved I was right. I won because I chose my children, and I do it again, every single time. 6 months later, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Richard Sterling. Dear Ms. Ross, I wanted to reach out personally to thank you for the example you set. My son has learned a valuable lesson about integrity and accountability, one I'm not sure he would have learned otherwise. I also wanted you to know that I've established a scholarship fund in your late husband's name. It will support children who've lost a parent and need financial assistance for education. I hope this honors his memory and your strength. With respect, Richard Sterling. I cried when I read it. Not out of sadness, out of gratitude, because sometimes justice doesn't come from revenge. It comes from people who see the truth and choose to act on it. People ask me sometimes if I regret what I did, if I regret shutting down that wedding, if I regret losing my family, and I always say the same thing. I didn't lose my family. I protected it. Because family isn't about blood. It's not about obligation or tradition or guilt. It's about who you'd walk through fire for, who you'd stand up for when the world tells you to sit down. My children are my family. And no one, gets to treat them like they don't matter. Not for $120,000, not for a wedding, not for anything. I'm Amelia Ross. I'm a widow, a mother, a woman who chose her kids over everything else. And I'd do it all over again. We're in a new house now. Smaller, cozier, the kind of place where you can hear your kids laughing from every room. Sophie's learning piano. James joined a soccer team. Leo's obsessed with dinosaurs. And me? I'm rebuilding. One day at a time. I don't talk to Olivia. I don't talk to my stepmother. I don't talk to my father. And I'm okay with that because I learned something that day at the gate of Chateau Bellevue. Some people will never see your worth. And that's not your problem. Your problem, your only problem, is protecting the people who matter. And I did. So yeah, I paid $120,000 for a wedding that never happened. And I'd do it again. Because my kids are worth more than any wedding, any family, any amount of money. They're worth everything.